All right, welcome everyone. This is Josh Walitt, and we're going to take a look today at the Hud Handbook 4000.1, and we're going to start out by going to hud.gov. And so this is going to be useful for appraisers and review appraisers who might have some questions when they're developing and writing an appraisal report, or maybe when they're reviewing that report. Maybe you have questions about basements and gross living areas or converted areas, or septic system, maybe accessory dwelling units. And so we're going to take a look at how we can access the HUD handbook. First, we're at hud.gov. We go to Audiences, Appraisers. Right there. Click. And over on the right, you can see that we can get right to the Single Family Handbook 4000.1. Let's take a look at clicking here for the PDF version. And actually what it's going to do here is just bring us to the list of housing handbooks. So let's scroll down. We don't actually need to move with this size screen because we can see it right there, 4000.1. And here's the PDF version. So let's open up the PDF version and actually close it. It takes about a minute. I'm going to open up one I already opened. But the key here is to always go to the internet to get the most recent version rather than having an old paper one sitting around, or maybe a PDF that you've had around for a year. They may have made some changes. So first off, let's start by scrolling down just so we can see there's a table of contents that's going to be very useful to us. We can find the topic, and you can see how it turns into a clickable link when I hover over that topic. So let's find the section we're going to like, and if I'm not really sure, we could search for appraisal, something like that, but let's just scroll to kind of see how far down it is. And we're looking for section 2, the origination. And I'm going to go all the way to section D. Okay, this is appraiser and property requirements. And we can see commencement of the appraisal. Whoops. General appraiser requirements, acceptable appraisal report forms and protocols. So this might be interesting to you if you're wondering, well, which form is supposed to be used for which situation. And here we can see it really gets into the nitty-gritty. Here's information on swimming pools, appliances, gross living area, and so on. So let's go ahead and take a look at gross living area real quick. Okay, it just bumps us right to the section, and we're looking again at section 2D, like dog. Subsection 3 there has quite a bit of information, but you can again take a look at the table of contents and get to know what the HUD handbook has. So here's gross living area, and it tells us that's referring to the total area of finished above grade residential space. You calculate it by measuring the outside perimeter of the structure. It includes only the finished habitable above grade living space, and it tells you here what analysis and reporting is necessary. Okay, it talks about basements. Okay, when any part of a finished level is below grade, the appraiser must report all of that level as below grade finished area and report that space on a different line in the appraisal report unless the market considers it to be partially below grade habitable space. Okay? In case of non-standard properties and floor plans, the appraiser must observe, analyze, and report the market expectations and reactions to the unique property. So if we take a look further down, here's where they talk about the partially below grade habitable space. So that refers to living area constructed partially below grade but has the full utility of GLA. So this may occur in some markets depending on how markets react, depending on the data sources available. So you do want to be aware that FHA, and even when we take a look at Fannie Mae's selling guide, there are deviations from the standard. And those deviations are allowed. You want to read the selling guide for Fannie Mae, you want to read the HUD handbook for FHA so you know exactly what then would need to be done. Okay, but it's important to know that. So let's go back up. We started here on gross living area. We could actually go up here and let's look for accessory dwelling unit. So I'm going into the search box in my PDF viewer. Yours might look a little bit different. I happen to know it's before the gross living area section, so I'm going to hit this left arrow to go backwards through the document. And here we go. It stopped on the first instance of accessory dwelling unit. So here it talks about what an accessory dwelling unit is. It sort of defines it for us here. It's a habitable living unit added to, created within, or detached from a primary one-unit single-family dwelling, which together constitute a single interest in real estate. It is a separate additional living unit, including kitchen, sleeping, and bathroom facilities. So those are some requirements for it to really be considered an accessory dwelling unit. You can take a look at the analysis and reporting that's required, and if you're the reviewer, you can see, hey, did this appraisal report take care of this properly? If you're the appraiser, you'd of course want to develop and prepare your appraisal and then report your appraisal in a report format that is correct and meets these requirements. So, hope you've enjoyed this. Remember to always go ahead, go online, and take a look at the most recent version, because just because I've read it right now doesn't mean it is actually the current policy in the HUD Handbook. You need to take a look for yourself. Thanks very much.